Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of Toy Fair 2017 here at the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City. Your official live coverage on BeTerrific. You are the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special at BeTerrific TV on all social media. And I've got Daryl Reed alongside me, and Jamie is joining us. Jamie, you have a really great story here at Toy Fair because your company has been here at Javits Center for all 30 years at the Jacob K. Javits Center of Toy Fair. Toy Fair has been here for 30 years, but prior to being here, they were at the Toy Building, just a few blocks away on Fifth Avenue.
Exactly.
And you guys were there for 9 or 10 years before coming over here when the show moved over here. And that's unbelievable. And now you're part of a bigger brand called Faber Castell, and they are the oldest pencil manufacturer, which is also unbelievable. And so you guys have really deep roots in making products for children and making creative products for children.
Right. We're really lucky. We're really fortunate that we've got a great history, and our history is really made up of two great companies. One is the parent company, which is Faber Castell, that is 256 years old. Whew. The original pencil company, always family owned, always privately held, based out of Germany. So that's really the parent company.
Was that a #1 or #2 pencil back then?
Number 2 pencil. Hey, right, exactly.
They always say number 2.
No,
was there ever a #1?
There is a #1. There's actually 16 different grades. There's a number 16.
So the number 2, to straighten this out, the number 2 is the softness of the graphite inside the pencil. Is that correct? Am I right? Or the lead?
Yeah, it is not the softest, but it is the one that's determined to be the perfect mix of hardness and softness for taking tests.
But that's what it measures, the softness.
That's right, exactly.
Yes.
That's what it does.
So,
it measures the
it can't be the softest if it's number 2.
Right.
Why for taking tests?
Exactly, because the darkness of the mark and what it does to the paper is exactly perfect for taking tests, especially with children in their grip and how hard they press in the stressful situation.
That's why I would always use a number 1 so the teachers would never know if I picked A or B. I'd be like, no, that's on B.
Yeah.
It's clearly on B. Look at the it's just smudged a little over to A. I always picked C if I didn't know. Did you have a theory like that?
Nah, you know what? It depends on the test, right? Because if you're taking like a SAT, then if you don't know, it's better to skip it instead of having the wrong answer.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I should have done that.
You had it down.
So the pencil, and I imagine they make a whole line, the number 1 all the way up. What's the highest number? Do we know?
16.
Well,
16.
They don't call it a 16, but there's 16 different grades. And in Europe, they use a different system, which is like B, HB. There's a whole different system.
Right. Oh, and I know that from mechanical pencils, which I loved as a kid.
Right.
Yeah, because you couldn't buy like a number 2 mechanical pencil. You'd buy like an HB.
But now that business has gone from just pencils into something that was really big over the last year and a half is color pencils.
Right.
No matter what we do the finest quality, the highest end that can be done, but we do that in regular graphite pencils, we do that in color pencils, we actually do it in watercolor pencils as well.
When did the change from lead, do you know, when did it change from lead to graphite? Because I know the original pencils were lead, right?
Right, and then there was, because of the lack of natural resources, there was a change, and then we were one of the first, actually, Faber Castell over in Europe doing it, and we were sourcing and then mixing. And as you mixed, then you got those levels of hardnesses and level of darkness.
Very cool.
And you know what? Coloring has like blown back up where they have the adult coloring books now.
I know.
And like you said, maybe over the last 2-3 years has really brought the colored pencils back out. My mom actually enjoys.
When you injured your knee and you were back in Denver rehabbing, didn't you do a lot of puzzles and some coloring books?
Yeah, I wasn't a coloring guy, but I am a jigsaw puzzle guy, but that's getting a little off topic.
Now you've been at Toy Fair for like 30, you personally have been at Toy Fair for like 35 years.
Yeah, I think this is 82 was my first year, so this is 35.
That's the year I was born. That's the year I was born, 82.
Well, that tells me something.
80s baby,
really,
90s baby.
Yeah, so 35 years I've been doing this.
Wow, unbelievable. What was it like 35 years ago, going to the old, the toy building?
Yeah, it used to be in the toy building. So in the toy building was a little different than this because it was showrooms. So it was pretty well enclosed, just like an office building with showrooms in it. But the fact of the matter is, whether it was in the building or whether it's here, the sense of community and the sense of camaraderie in the industry is fantastic. I mean, we know people who've been here all 35 years and some longer, but every year you see them here. They may be your competitors, they may be your customers, but there's such a sense of camaraderie. It's a great thing. It's a lot of fun.
We hear that a lot.
We hear that a lot, more than at any other show. We do quite a few. And the other thing is we hear a young company, a startup, somebody who doesn't even have a booth yet here, comes through and says, oh, I want to make something like this. And you could say, well, get out of my booth. And instead you go, let me help you. Let me tell you who to talk to. Let me help you with the manufacturing process. Let me tell you the pitfalls. And I think that that's great. That seems to be what the industry does for each other, and the networking is unbelievable.
But Michael, I mean, if you think about why is this still here? Why does this trade show still exist, and why does this industry still succeed? It's because people are willing to help people who are coming up.
Right.
And they know that they're passing it on. There's that longevity, there's that pay it forward.
Right.
And that's why this is still such a vibrant show and such a vibrant industry. It's because we're willing to pass it on.
Well, and I think that talks a lot to the philosophies of the company, and having a parent company like Faber Castell, their philosophy obviously is deeply rooted in their company, and then I imagine not only in your company, but it had to be a similar philosophy when you guys get hooked up.
And that's really the magic of this whole story, is because, as you mentioned, the parent company Faber Castell purchased a small company called Creativity for Kids that was started 40 years ago in Cleveland, Ohio, which is where we're based now. But the way that acquisition took place was Count Faber Castell came to New York, came to this very show, and what he saw was a small booth with a small company, but a company with a mission statement that so connected with him that he said, I really like this company, I love their mission statement, it works for me, and he bought the company.
Wow.
Wow, what a story.
That's amazing. And then you joined 13 years ago as the CEO.
Exactly. I came in 13 years ago in '03.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's been great.
How's it been for you?
It's been fantastic. I mean, it's, you know, I had worked for Lego for 16 years. I had worked for Playmobil for a few years. So this idea
Companies
of
nobody knows who they are, right? Small little.
But quality companies that all have the same idea, that it's all about the kids and it's all about the best creative experiences that we can give them.
And so you guys have obviously, as Faber Castell has had to change the way they do things over the years, you guys have changed with the times as well. And you're really about having kids learn and do it themselves. So, you know, this is something that's beautiful, and it looks like I could buy that on a shelf for somebody, and, you know, off a store shelf, but that's actually something that a child could make and learn how to bead and learn a little bit about electricity and wiring and putting the leaves together and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's really the idea here, is that the baseline or the foundation in all of this is certainly almost anything we make, you can buy it.
Right.
But the experience of creating it, and especially in these days, of using your hands, of making it yourself, of personalizing it, customizing it, making it your own. You know, a product like this, which is great for, actually this is even for slightly older children, so from like a 10 to 15 tween type of experience, but you've got all the components to make what we've got here. And that's the idea, is make it with your hands, make it your own, personalize it. This is a tremendous product for gifting. So girls in this age group, they make it themselves and they want to give it to their friends.
You make a great point, and it makes a great necklace, or you could hang it on the wall. I mean, you could do so many things with it. It's
Definitely.
kind of let you be as creative as you want to be with it.
Wrap it around the rail, you know?
Exactly. Room decor, yeah, it works well.
I like that you guys have created this aquarium terrarium. It allows kids to maybe, you know, have the fun of an aquarium, but also the practicality of a terrarium, maybe not have to feed fish.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can even put some fish in it, I don't know. But you can also grow some wheatgrass in there, and maybe you don't want to eat that wheatgrass or drink
very
that.
Functional though. Yeah. A lot of different things that you can do and use your mind and be creative with.
Exactly. And, you know, here's a situation where, you know, for a long time, we were doing a lot of product that was, let's say it was more fashion accessory based.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, kids can be creative in so many different ways with so many different types of products, that why not, as we found here, indoor gardening. So this is part of a line that we call Grow, and Grow is all about the combination of indoor gardening and crafting. And that's what we have here. So this is an aquarium where you put the beads in with some water, the beads expand, and you grow wheatgrass in here, and then you decorate the terrarium. So it's the aquarium terrarium, but it's a great play pattern. It's a great thing for kids to do.
Well,
they have a lot of fun with it.
I love that you're growing the child's mind with Grow.
That's it.
And you're really expanding their creativity, and you're giving them two things. You're giving them the idea of bringing life to the planet and nurturing life, and you're also giving them the creative aspect.
And it's one of the several segments that we have. So, you know, our mission is really not to channel them into one activity. It's to give them so many options, because kids are amazing with what they can do.
Well, and as Daryl said about, you know, coloring books and colored pencils, and you said are coming back, I think we're really trying to get kids back to basics, and also interacting, whether it's with other children or it's with, you know, things that are physical. Not that digital is bad, but a good mix and a nice balance. And I think for a few years we went away completely from that kind of stuff, and now we're coming back to it to make sure we have a good balance. And that leads us to, you know, painting, right?
Yeah.
And watercolors and all sorts of different things. And you guys have a new take on that.
Yeah, so this is a product that we call Fizzy Paint, and this is from our Faber Castell Children's Premium Art line. And the whole idea behind this line is really to give kids a chance to learn something about principles of color and principles of art, but do it in a really fun and engaging way. The one thing that you'll find here is that this is teaching kids about how to mix color. So what I can do is I can take these 3 Fizzy Paint tablets and I can drop them in water, and immediately you see what happens. So that's going to give me what I need if I add the other tablet in to make orange. So I've got red. I'm going to add in yellow.
So now I'm learning how to mix colors.
Exactly.
I'm having a little bit of fun with maybe science, at least in my mind, especially as a younger child. And then I can have a little creativity with painting.
Right, so I'm taking this and I'm learning as I'm doing, which as we all know is the best way to do it. It's to learn while you're doing or learn by doing. And I've got the colors I put together, and then I'm on my way to painting and creating artwork, but learning something along the way in a fun way.
Right.
Well, absolutely, and I couldn't say it better. I mean, as a guy who went to the Connecticut Schools of Broadcasting, and their motto is learn by doing.
Yeah.
Many years ago, obviously, at this point, but I think that learn by doing is the best way and the best approach, and I love it. I think it's great. You know, I think it's interesting that people in this industry, and I would say probably you, but I'm assuming, and you're going to fill me in, they work at companies they feel have the right mentality for them, the right philosophy. And that doesn't happen in other industries. In other industries, you just go and get a job, and then you go and get the next job, and it's usually based on, well, what's the next job I can get, where can I go, and how much are they going to pay me? And it seems like in the toy industry, over and over and over again, people find the companies that are the right fit, and they find the companies that have the right philosophy that matches their own. And I think that's what you've done throughout your career. You start at Lego, you go to Playmobil, 2 great companies, and then you're here. I mean,
and you know what you'll find? Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because if you walk around this convention center and you talk to people as you have, you'll find that people choose to work for companies really based upon the why.
Right.
It's not based upon the what that they're making, or even in some cases the how. It's based upon the why. So people who come to our company, for instance, people who work for us, they're really interested in our why. And our why is that we believe that creative experiences across your lifetime are really, really important. And then we also believe, in order to do that in the right way, you've got to do it in a quality way. Right. So the quality of components, the quality of experiences, making kids feel good about themselves, to build their creative confidence, that's the why. But that's the way people connect all around this building. That's why they're in this industry, is they connect with the why, not just the what.
So you've been at Toy Fair for 35 years personally. I need one story of something that was remarkable that you saw here, whether over the years, whether it was a product or some kind of story that you've seen with your own eyes that just every year you tell somebody this story and it blew you away.
It's easy. So we were, it was '83, and I was a young guy, and I was part of the Lego sales team, and there were 40 of us, 40 young guys in New York, '83, it's February, and we have 30 inches of snow.
Wow.
30 inches of snow. The city shuts down. Everything, not a car on the street, up and down Fifth Avenue, and someone grabbed a sled, and we went sled riding down Fifth Avenue in the middle of February in the dark. It was fantastic. It was you would never ever see or expect it. It was great.
That is amazing.
It's the fun stuff you can do.
Yeah.
It's the fun part about being in this industry.
And I think that's something that we've been seeing across the board, that everybody loves what they do. You know, some people get up every day and hate going to work. Here, everybody loves their job. They love what they do, and they love, you know, coming to Toy Fair on a regular basis, on a yearly basis.
Yeah,
so
and
true.
we do.
That's a great story.
It was fun.
I love
it was good.
That's something I've never done.
No, and we haven't done it since. But we did it at the time. Yeah.
That'd be an amazing shoot, by the way.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you.
I really appreciate it. I think you got great stuff, great history, legacy, and heritage of 2 companies, and here at Toy Fair, and so glad to bring it to the Terrifics. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with a whole lot more. Stay with us.